Hey, you. Fall in. Clowning, eh?
Hi, this is Simon at Mr and Mrs KnowHow. Welcome to our home. We're going to be speaking today about behaviour and changing the behaviour we don't actually like, especially if it's sort of stifling us and holding us back and stopping us from actually achieving the happiness that we really want and really deserve. The first thing we really need to do is to accept this behaviour that we don't like. It's all very well saying that all of our habits are conditioned into us, but the only way that we can really change this negative behaviour we don't like is to admit we have it. Don't deny it. And own up to this particular behaviour that we have to change. It's all about types of behaviour that may be holding us back from what we want to achieve and the way we mismanage our lives. A lot of people say that our behaviour defines us, whether it's good or bad, whether it's positive or negative. And although we can't actually deny the truth of this, what we don't like is that the claim can sound like a death sentence, that there is no way out. It seems like it's a good excuse for the way that we do things. We know people say it for good reasons, but we don't essentially believe it because you may not be happy with your behaviour, and some of your conduct might be termed as bad, but you're essentially a good person. It's your behaviour that you're unhappy with. And yes, it's you that's getting yourself into trouble. But this type of behaviour doesn't define you unless you repeat it over and over and over again and don't learn from it. So basically, if you can change that behaviour, this shows that you're not actually defined by it. So what is behaviour? Basically, it's an expression and manifestation of what we think, how we feel, and how we do things. And because we can change that through a lot of hard work and personal development, this is why we don't think that we're actually defined by our behaviour. I mean, to put it simply, if we think shitty thoughts and are always negative for whatever reason, then that's how we're going to behave. We're going to behave in a shitty and negative way. But if we're going to be thinking positive thoughts and doing things positively, and I don't mean this in a new age fancy la-di-da way, then that's how we're going to behave. The reason why I'm actually saying that this isn't la-di-da or new age is because a lot of famous people throughout history, through the millennia, have praised the virtues of positive thinking and emotions and the need to look at yourself, to discover and find out how we behave. And this has actually led to their success. I can list loads and loads of names, and probably you can as well. People like Martin Luther King, Andrew Carnegie, Mahatma Gandhi, Mother Teresa, Einstein, Buddha, Marie Curie, Isaac Newton, Thomas Edison, Steve Jobs, Harriet Tubman, Oprah Winfrey, Bill Gates, the Dalai Lama, the list goes on. And they've said this because they want to share their knowledge and experience just like we do. We may have been brought up as children by our parents or people close to us to believing in certain philosophies in life. Now, they may not have done this with any malicious intent, but this is what they were taught, and perhaps their life experiences drew them to these conclusions. And when we're children, we get this communicated to us in a drip-feed way about how we should behave. how we should have careers, the type of careers we should go into, how we treat people. But these lessons aren't helping or satisfying us as adults, and we're not getting the results that we want or deserve. So we grow up with these feelings, which we carry into adult life, thinking that these are our own personal thoughts and ideas, which we developed by ourselves. However, this doesn't actually need to define us as people, and the solution is to recognize the type of behavior we have, where it's come from, what we want to change, and how to change it. Unfortunately, the way we behave creates an impression on people that that's the way we are as people. And sometimes, even if we do go through the process of change and we keep to those changes and we seem to actually be a different person or a new person, other people get stuck in the past and their impression of us are still the same. However, you know what? That's their problem. It's not ours. So what is important is to be sensitive to how we behave with people and ourselves, and whether it creates a positive feedback or a negative one. And if it's negative of any kind, especially to ourselves and to the people we love, then change it. And there is always hope, and there's always a solution. So the first thing we need to do is to recognize the damage our conditioning has caused us. And second, choose to change and make the decision to do it. 3, we really do need to make amends to ourselves and the people that we may have hurt. And 4, we need to substitute the negative behavior for positive habits. I mean, no matter what we think, habits are learnt, so they can be unlearnt. And 5, it makes it easier to understand what's happening if we believe in positive action instead of allowing only negative things to happen to us. And 6, avoid those hot buttons, those triggers that set off our negative responses. 7, seek like-minded people and don't do anything alone. Surround yourself with positive people and avoid negative environments. 8, find people who have successfully changed their lives and follow what they've done. And 9, believe and have faith that this is all necessary to transform ourselves and our lives. And finally, 10, so I can do that, 10, connect with the desire for change, with the action to change, and keep going until our goals and rewards are achieved. It's all about commitment. You know, change is all about pulling our real selves out of ourselves and changing destructive behaviour. We're not our behaviour, but sometimes it can seem like that. The best way of reevaluating our life and discovering the real us is to change that destructive behaviour that we have. In the end, it's us that gets in the way of ourselves and not other people. So we have to change ourselves and not distract ourselves from trying to change others. Because that's what it is. It's just a distraction. So if you've liked what you heard, give us a thumbs up or click on the button below. A comment will be mighty helpful. And please remember that if you want to learn now, you need to know how. Bye-bye for now.